Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille Show. We are live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. We're presented by Ting Fiber Internet, Interstate Pest and Service Companies, and Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Boys and girls, a loaded program for you. Are you going to download the app for your smartphone that helps the Commonwealth of Virginia fight COVID? That topic on today's program. How about only 74 UVA students as of mid-July? Only 74 UVA students have chosen to take a gap year or take the year off for fear of COVID. College students, they have a ton of courage. Maybe it's dumb courage, but they're coming to a college near you. Is there a Caesars Casino coming to Danville, Virginia, guys? Parents creating homeschool pods. We're going to talk with two of them, and Laura and Anwar Allen on this program. They're small business owners, and they have a pod on their future with kids relying on them for education. That topic on today's show. And how about the release of ACC football schedules? Notre Dame and Duke open the ACC 2020 football season, and Virginia Tech are going to play their Commonwealth Clash in September. Oh my gosh, it's a crazy world we live in, 2020 in COVID. My name is Jerry Miller. Give the show a like and a share on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. A lot of topics on today's program, and we thank you kindly for joining us on the show. Judah Wickhauer is our director, my friend. Why don't we get to the nitty-gritty, and we start with the first headline of the day. Are you going to download this app? Look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen. Add your phone to the COVID fight. Virginia rolls out a new app to alert people of possible coronavirus contact. Virginia is straight up saying we understand the privacy concern that you may have if you put an app on your phone that is controlled by the government. That's what's happening here. Now, I'm going to cut through the chase. And a lot of people are like, I'm not going to give the government access to my location. I'm not going to give the government more insight into what I'm doing. I totally get it. But boys and girls, with what you're doing with Facebook, with what you're doing with Instagram, with what you're doing with LinkedIn, with what you're doing with Twitter, how many of you are saying, oh, I'm having lunch at Riverside Grill? How many of you are saying, I'm having the steakhouse burger at Citizen Burger Bar right now? I'm eating tacos at the Bebedero or La Michoacana. We all say that. And frankly speaking, a lot of the apps on our phone, whether you have done it or not, have location-enabling services associated with their downloads. Unless you've turned off the location-enabling services on your apps, folks, I hate to say this, the government can already track what you are doing through your phones. So the fear of Big Brother, of government tracking your movements in the Commonwealth, while it is realistic if you download the COVID app, the reality is the government can already track what you're doing on this device right here. It's just a fact of the matter. So if you're scared of Big Brother tracking your movements through a COVID app provided by the Commonwealth and government, you should be. The reality is they're already doing it. So unless you're going to throw this away and live completely off the grid, and the reality is you're not going to do that, the government's already in your business through this device right here that's in the palm of your hand. So I guess my play, and I'm a libertarian, I'm a guy that doesn't want the government in his business. My play, you download the app. You download the app, guys. You download the app, and you help squash this pandemic, okay? We already know that they can track what you're doing through the social media and the location enabling on your phone. Go ahead and download the COVID-19 app, okay? Let's see if we can squash this. Let's see if we can get some data out there that truly shows that this virus is being flattened and we're winning the fight against COVID. Okay, that's my take on it. Some people are going to be shocked to hear me say that because I'm a libertarian and I don't want the government in my stuff. I'm just realistic. Okay, I understand that they already have access to this. Okay, they already do. Okay, so let's get some legitimate data out there and download the app so we can win this battle. Okay, we'll go to the next headline. If you look at the headlines on screen, there's an opportunity for viewer, listener comments. I will relay your comments on air during the viewer, listener comment headline portion. I'd like to go to the next headline, and this one is a UVA student. It's from the CVille Weekly. The CVille Weekly, every now and again, has a really good story out there. Well, the CVille Weekly has a good story out in this edition, and it's about UVA students returning to school and their level of confidence of returning to grounds in Charlottesville. There's a very important metric in this story. And ladies and gentlemen, there's two important metrics from this story. The first one that really struck me was this, and this is the CVille Weekly right now. As of mid-July, only 74 UVA students have requested to take a gap semester or a gap year or take the year off because of COVID. I frankly thought that number would have been much, much higher than 74. Here's another interesting metric from that story. According to Dean of Admissions Greg Roberts, 42% of students offered UVA admission accepted. That's up 2% from last year. Judah, can you put that headline back on screen for me? Give me the thumbs up when it is. 42% of students offered UVA admission accepted for this year. That's a 2% increase from last year. So I'm going to cut to the chase. When I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, when you were 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, we had a sense of fearlessness that we do not embody as we grow older because we mature and we realize what we thought was fearlessness and invincibility was in reality Jerry being stupid many, many times in his life. So that's just mature. But if I was graduating from high school, or if I was in my second, third, or fourth year at UVA, I went to UVA, I would certainly want to return to my apartment or to Charlottesville and not stay at home in my parents' house to learn. Right? Wouldn't we embody that mindset? Wouldn't our kids embody that mindset for the parents that have students that are, seniors in high school or college students? Of course. We want the freedom and independence that comes with leaving from the nest. So now we have some tangible data. As of mid-July, according to the CVille Weekly, 74 students have requested to take this calendar year off. That's nothing. That's measly. And the students that were offered UVA acceptance increased by 2%. So what does that mean? Guys, the kids are going to come. The kids are going to come. The second, third, and fourth years living off grounds and private leases, they're going to come here to learn. The first years, the rising first years, are straight up saying, we coming, dog. We might have to learn virtually in the beginning, but we coming. So we have to wrap our minds around that. Good article in the CVille Weekly. Okay, we don't highlight a lot of their news here, but this one was a good one, and it's worth highlighting. How about the next headline? This is coming from City Hall. And you know I'm critical of City Hall in this program. To the point where I go in there and I chat with leadership, and they're like, Jerry, you're giving us, and I'm like, is it justified? And they're like, we can't respond to that. Okay, but CVille leadership, get that on screen for us from CBS 19. Thank you, Judah. Thank you, Judah. We love you. CVille leadership, I'll cut first to the chase, has been slow to stimulate or offer support to the economy. City Hall's been slow to do that. The businesses that are getting the grant money now from the Commonwealth are the businesses that were already going to survive COVID-19. The businesses that really needed the money went out of business 60 days ago. But there's more efforts, I'm now saying positive, there's more efforts coming from City Hall about economic stimulation. And the city of Charlottesville is launching an advertising campaign through City Hall through the Tourism and Economic Development Office, and they're hanging signs, welcome signs. They're passing out masks, 5,000 face coverings for businesses. The Charlottesville Albemarle Convention and Visitors Bureau has an outdoor kiosk on the downtown mall where specialists can interact with visitors. So the Visitors Bureau has a point of sale or a point of interaction on the mall to interact with people. Curbside pickup locations are being expanded and emphasized more with signage. And you can park in the Market Street and Water Street garages for free on Saturday and Sunday. And City Hall is waiving the vendor fees for cafes on the mall. Not being waived, they're being deferred to September 30th to help with cash flow. So finally, they're launching an advertising campaign for restaurants. You're finally seeing, good night. You're finally seeing a strategic, mobilized, multifaceted, planned out stimulus campaign from City Hall for the city of Charlottesville. Well, you're going to ask, why are they doing that? Well, we'll cut to the chase. The entire strategy is backed by this one mission, and the mission is to drive tax revenues through sales, meals tax, and lodging taxes in the city's commercial districts. 20%, I'll repeat this number, 20% of the city's annual working budget, $1 out of $5. $1 out of $5. The city's $200 million budget, roughly every year, $200 mil to run this city. $1 out of $5 of that $200 mil, okay? That comes from meals, sales, and lodging taxes. Finally, the city says, if we don't stimulate the economy, we will run at a serious deficit years moving forward, and we're going to have to make up that deficit by taxing our citizens through real estate. We don't want to do that as much. Let's try to stimulate commercial districts like the downtown mall. I applaud the city. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this. I then hold the city accountable, and I ask the city, why did you not roll this out in April? Why August? Why not April? Why not May? Why August? You take a stroll down the mall, and I encourage everyone to take a stroll down the heartbeat of Charlottesville, Virginia, and that is the downtown mall. And when you take a stroll, you will see storefronts empty everywhere. I've never, in my 20 years of being in Charlottesville, came here for a first year at UVA. I have never seen more empty storefronts than I have seen now. Okay? So thank you for rolling these efforts out. I just wish it was a little bit sooner. All right, let's go to Gary Grant. Gary Grant is a viewer and listener of the show. He's an award-winning journalist. Gary Grant watches and engages with a lot of the public meetings, including the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors. And Gary, and I'm going to call it up on my phone behind me. And Gary, he watched the Board of Supervisors meeting yesterday. Sent me a message. Said, Albemarle County, this is from Gary Grant, award-winning journalist, Gary Grant. Now retired, I believe. Is that right, Gary? Now retired. He says, yesterday, Albemarle County Executive Jeff Richardson announced at 9:36 p.m. to the Board of Supervisors of Albemarle County that ambassadors will be in the field starting this weekend. Ambassadors, snitches that get stitches. Ambassadors. Tattletales, the ambassadors. So the ambassadors, Albemarle County, will be in the field starting this weekend. They will be using a mobile app to report findings to, we don't know whom, but we assume it's county staff, the Virginia Department of Health, and Albemarle County Police Department. Remember, the ambassadors are not enforcing the infractions. The ambassadors in Albemarle County, the snitches who get stitches, who go around to private small businesses and count the amount of people in their businesses, or use a ruler and determine if customers are 6 feet standing apart. It's now the small business owner's responsibility to ensure that customers are 6 feet apart. I mean, that's a brutal position to be in if you're a small business owner. I totally get you're walking into my establishment. Please have a mask on. I get that. We will all oblige by that at a brewery or restaurant. But saying with a ruler, you're 6 feet apart, leave room for the Holy Spirit, that's a sticky position to be. Even making the position even more stickier for the small business owner in the county of Albemarle, there's ambassadors that Albemarle County has paid to the tune of $123,000 of taxpayer money. And these ambassadors for the remainder of 2020, the tattletales, the snitches who get stitches, are going to private businesses and they're counting customers and determining the 6 feet of distance. And if they're infraction of this, they then only get on a phone and they go on an app and they report the infraction through an app, and then it goes to the police department. And then it's the police department's responsibility to show up at the small business and enforce the infraction. I mean, do you think an Albemarle County Police Department officer, and I have respect for the police. The only time I've gotten in trouble for the police is I should have gotten in trouble for the police. If you don't do anything wrong in a lot of ways, you're not going to have trouble with the police, right? Okay, so do you think the Albemarle County police officer that just got on his shift is going to want to go to his favorite restaurant or his favorite brewery or his favorite winery or his favorite small business, and he's going to want to say, you're not 6 feet apart, or you're not wearing a mask? I got to issue a citation? No policeman wants to do that. No policeman. But yesterday, under the cloak of darkness in Albemarle County, Virginia, at roughly 9:36 p.m., this ambassador program was announced, and in the field, supervision is going to happen this weekend. No information was provided on who the vendors will be, how many ambassadors will be out, and how much the program will cost taxpayers. Well, it's roughly $123,000. We know that. So get ready. Get ready. They out this weekend, guys. They out. And I just... There's no right answer. It's like, what are you going to do with your kids in school this fall? Are you going to have them learn virtually or in person? There's no right answer. The same thing with getting over this COVID situation. There is no right answer. Do I want the man? Do I want the government knowing my location through a COVID app? No. Am I smart enough to realize they can already do that on my phone? Yes. Because of that, am I going to download the app? Yes. Do I want ambassadors going to my favorite breweries and snitching to the police about people standing 5 feet 2 inches instead of 6 feet? Nah, no. Do you? I mean, Gary Grant, I love you on this show, dude. Seriously, Gary. You offer very good perspective on this show. Thank you for that. Next headline, Judah, if we can go, and we'll get to your comments, guys, after this headline. The next headline is from the Roanoke Times. Did you see this story? A Caesars casino to Danville, Virginia. Now, if you know anything about Danville, you know that the times of commerce and strong business have passed Danville, Virginia. Okay? Well, Danville is doing what it can, and Danville City Council yesterday voted to pass a resolution requesting that a referendum be held in November on whether a casino will be allowed in the city. A referendum basically means in November, when the city comes out to vote, they will be able to vote whether a Caesars casino can come to Danville. I would think that this is going to be passed. Here's why. Council voted 6-0 in favor of adding the referendum to November's ballot. On top of that, this casino, a Caesars casino based out of Nevada, Caesars would invest $400 million into Danville, Virginia. The Caesars Casino in Danville would create 1,300 new jobs, 1,300. Those jobs would pay between $35K and $47K annually. I mean, you're talking about a desert of new job opportunity. You talk about as depressed as a Virginia market as you're going to find as Danville. 1,300 new jobs, $400 million a project, and $34 million annually in tax revenue for Danville? Good night. Remember, we told you a few weeks ago, we relayed to you a few weeks ago, that the Commonwealth of Virginia is going to issue 6 to 12 gambling licenses next year. And those 6 to 12 gambling licenses are going to be strategically placed around Virginia. Virginia, the Commonwealth, like Albemarle County, like the city of Charlottesville, operating at a budget deficit. And because it's operating at a budget deficit, it's got to consider creative, new, and innovative ways to drive revenue to the bottom line. So, legalized gambling, going to be a reality. If you're in Danville and you can't get a job, and a Caesars Casino is saying, here's 1,300 new jobs, a $400 million project, and 30 to 40 million a year in taxable revenue, you're going to say, yeah, let's do that, right? Gambling will be legal in 2021. Will marijuana that has now been decriminalized to you being able to walk around with a zip, an ounce of weed on your person, and you don't get arrested, you get a talking to from the police. The next thing is the legalization and then the taxation of cannabis to make up a budget deficits. That's the next thing. All right, let's get to some comments before we welcome a husband and wife and Laura and Anwar Allen that are creating a school pod of education that they will be leading and facilitating themselves. We're also going to spotlight their small business. I also want to encourage everyone that's watching this show to use the link that's on screen, ilovecville.ting.com. You guys can get fiber internet through Ting, the best internet provider, at the lowest price possible. And it's only through that link, only. You'll save $288 on fiber internet, dudes. You can stream all over your house. Your husband, your kids can stream all over their house. Perfect for virtual learning. ilovecville.ting.com. Stephanie Rhodes, love Stephanie Rhodes on this program. She said, I already downloaded the app. I'm not going anywhere or doing anything that the government can't know about, so I don't care if they know where I'm located. You know, and they already know. So respect to Stephanie. She's downloaded the app. I'm going to do the same, Stephanie. My wife did it this morning. She said, Jerry, put this on your phone and do it right now. I said, yes, ma'am. Said yes, ma'am. Isaiah Brooke says, wow, to the snitches get stitches and the ambassadors going into private businesses to rat on them. He's taken aback by the ambassador program as well. Isaiah Brooks, Cajun King, we love you on the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for watching. You're welcome on this program any single time. More comments coming in. This one's coming in from Louise. Louise, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. She says, Jerry, you are now my newscast. I get my news from you. I did not know that the ambassador program was starting this weekend. I think that's something that every small business owner in our area should be on the heads up and alerted about. I agree. Dude, if you're spending, guys, here's the crazy thing about the ambassador program. Are you ready for this? The ambassador program is funded by taxpayer dollars. It's costing $123,000. So this is pretty much what's happening. Albemarle County is using taxpayer dollars to create a tattletale program on other Albemarle County residents who generate Albemarle County tax revenue. Think about it. Tax dollars in Albemarle County, $123,000, are being utilized to get people to go to other Albemarle County businesses and other Albemarle County residents who own those businesses and potentially supervise or tattletale on their business. That is what's happening. That is what's happening. I do not have a public interfacing business. This is a private studio. Our offices upstairs are private offices. I do not have a business where people can walk in off the street and come in and socialize. I'm not a restaurant or brewery. But if I was a restaurant or brewery or retail or venue or vineyard or winery, I'd want to know that the ambassador program was starting this weekend. I think that's just fair. Ike Allen has this. Jerry, how far out into Albemarle County and the surrounding counties does Ting cover? That's a good question. Cara, if you are watching, let us know that answer. That's a good question from Ike Allen. Very good question. I know their internet is banging, and it's certainly better than the alternative, and we know what the alternative is. It starts with the C. In fact, both of them start with the C. Both of them do. Both of them start with a C, and I'll just leave it at that. All right, Judah, let's get to the Allens. All right, I want to hear how their pod's going. Guys, we're reaching out to Laura and Anwar now. It's ringing, J-Dubs, as we speak. We're going to spotlight their business and their pod. I'm extremely excited. This is 2 times this week for Anwar. And Laura, your first time on the show. How are you guys?
Great. Nice to meet you, Jerry.
It's nice to meet you virtually. Thank you for joining us. How about we do this, Anwar? Ladies first.
Yes.
Introduce yourself, Laura, to everybody.
My name's Laura Allen. Pleased to meet you.
It's pleased to meet you, too. Small business owner, mom. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's we co-own and operate Allen Scottish Shortbread, and we have 3. I feel like I'm on Wheel of Fortune. We have 3 beautiful children.
You guys met at the University of Virginia, Anwar, and okay, let's spotlight the biz here. Let's spotlight the e-commerce platform. Let's drive people to buy your delicious shortbread, and then let's talk pods here. Anwar, the show is yours. How can we get involved with your business? Tell us about the business.
Well, I mean, right now our main platform to sell on is online, allenscottishshortbread.com. Mm-hmm. Those, I think Laura's got a couple. We've got 3 boxes, and these flavors are what's going to be what we're highlighting right now.
And we just came out with pumpkin spice again for the fall.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I put a little illustration. Actually, this is the original illustration. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, we can see that. That's perfect. Tell me about that original illustration.
Well, an artist named Susan Shea did it. She was an art student at the University of Virginia.
Nice.
And the rabbits actually represent our family. Oh. So Anwar's the big black bunny, and I'm the white mommy, and the littlest one is Willow, and this one right here is Samaria. And it's the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background, and their tartan is Allen Tartan, because our last name's Allen, so that's how we wove the tapestry of culture.
I love it.
Together for a specific product.
It looks like Samaria. Is it Samaria? Am I saying her name right?
Yeah.
It looks like the Samaria bunny is a precocious and mischievous bunny.
Oh, well, you have her. I think. Where are you from, Jerry?
Is that your daughter?
Yeah. She is precocious and mischievous. Are you from the north?
I get that all the time. I don't know why I get that. I get that all the time. I was born in Naples, Florida, but I grew up in Williamsburg, Virginia.
No way.
Yeah, but I married a Yankee. I married a special lady from Long Island.
Well, I think her little Long Island accent, that accent is contagious.
She rubbed off on me. All right, so let's do this here. So your business, you guys are moving forward. You got positive momentum. You got folks ordering online. You're in Whole Foods. We want to get more people on the platform. I love it. I love it. I love it. Onward, talk to me here, baby.
Well, I mean, right now it's we're in an interesting time where we're having to figure out what to do in this season. At the beginning of all this, when March rolled around, we're kind of thinking, okay, we don't know if we can demo in stores.
Right.
We don't know. We can't hand out samples. I mean, nobody wants to be in the stores. You feel like you're going to catch something just walking around. And so we're like, okay, what's the next best thing we can do? So we honestly did not. We had a website. We were selling online, but we were nowhere close to what we're doing now. What we're trying to push. And so we had. She had been doing Instagram. She had been getting her followers up. She'd be like, "Oh, honey, look, we got 500," and I have no idea, no barometer for what that means.
That's legit. That is legit.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Honey, we got 1,000," and I'm like, "Oh, nice, like 1,000." I don't know, and then she's like, "We got 2,000."
That's
and
legit.
I'm like, "Wow, okay." So then, so at this point, we thought, okay, let's leverage people that are interacting with us. And we felt, I don't know, honestly, at the onset, I was like, I feel kind of weird hitting people up because we had just been doing kind of just nice little, she had curated a really nice Instagram, sort of everything was purple and gray. And so she had been doing the marketing already. We had been doing the Instagramming. We had been informing people of our product by way of social media. And so we had been interacting with people, but not in a sales mode. And so the first time we hit somebody like, "Hey guys, we got Shortbread on the internet," and I'm just like, I hope they don't think, And the response was awesome.
And we're really driving sales to all the little shops that carry it. And they are carrying it again. So Virginia Shop, Happy Cook, Market Street Market, Foods of All Nations, Bel Air Market. It's all on our website. Shenandoah. I don't want to leave anyone out. They're all our friends. But they weren't open for a second. So we really had a sink or swim situation there.
Yeah.
And they faithfully did purchase as much as they could, but they were scared to because there's so much uncertainty and I'm not saying any one of those individuals. Some of them kept ordering through the whole pandemic, or the whole quarantine. But e-commerce became the swim as opposed to the sink option.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a worldwide customer base, probably more so than you've ever had before. So when we're on the other side of this and people are back to going to the grocery store and buying in person, you now have a complementary stream that's super strong.
That's right.
It's
a gift, actually. We got the gift of time to really begin to work on that.
I love that.
Yeah. You can't, you can't really write the story yourself. But the most interesting thing, you're an entrepreneur, so you probably came across it. It was an NPR, how they built this or whatever, right? And they just talk about stories of different entrepreneurs and ups and downs. And the one story that stuck with me, obviously, was the guy who started Whole Foods down in Austin, Texas. And he talks about a moment where his first store gets flooded, right? And he's in there, and people are looting his place after the flood, and people don't know who he is because it's dark in there, and everybody's looting this, the sandwich section or the vegetables or whatever. And he goes to the back, and the safe is sitting there floating around open, and nobody went to the back. And all of his cash back in the day was, and so anyways, it was happen chance stuff was going on with him. And we felt like, in a weird way, when we had done QVC and we had done the little steps on getting to places, benchmarks that we felt like businesses should be in, we were kind of just happen chance, in the right place at the right time, and we didn't know what was going to come of it. Long story short, most of the sales that we're actually having online right now, we're doing Instagram, we're doing social media, but a lot of it actually came, people have seen us on QVC.
I need to go check on the baby. I'm
no
sorry.
No problem. Totally get it.
We're multitasking.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the sales, the demographics, and yeah, we have a huge customer base, but a lot of it has come by way of QVC. People that are shopping with Whole Foods or have shopped with Whole Foods are kind of saying, "Where can we get you now? We don't want to be in the stores right now." So it's been I would have never imagined that at this point in time we would have as huge of a customer base online. But it's definitely something we're thankful for. We're definitely so after COVID, I think a lot of businesses are in the same place right now. Thinking, okay, when is this going to end? What's the future going to look like? And for us, we're kind of looking at it like, okay, we have to be online. We have to make it a benchmark. We have to create more of a presence. We have to stick with it, and we have a surprise.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Hey, are you a basketball fan at all?
Yeah.
Okay, remember when Steph Curry had his daughter in the NBA Finals on his lap? I feel like this is right here. This is awesome. She's adorable.
She is one of the babies on the box, but she's on the newer boxes. Mm-hmm. So this is Baby Scott, and she's the newest.
How old is she?
And the lavender.
2. Oh, that's amazing. My son is 2. I thought she was 2. I'm literally, guys, you're gonna appreciate this. My wife is going to a doctor's appointment next Thursday, and COVID-19. So we are small business owners as well. She's our director of operations. She does a ton of our social media and manages our calendar. So she's going to the doctor's appointment, nothing serious or anything like that, just a routine checkup. And they are not allowing kids at the doctor's office. So Trey, our 2-year-old, is going to come in here during a live show, sit on my lap while she goes, and then comes back. So we're just having to survive.
Might end up being a regular fixture.
Yeah, maybe so.
Especially like, you can take them again.
That's what I'm worried about. All right, let me throw this to you guys. You guys not only are doing a small business and having success with your small business and pivoting your small business, but you guys now going to leadership role in a pod, which came up in our interview last time. I mean, outline this, dude. Your interview earlier this week, this is no BS. This is straight up true. Your interview resonated with so many parents because, Anwar, you have the gift of incredible communication, and you're just like a likable, approachable, like, dude. And you were being like honest and real and vulnerable, and like other moms and dads were reaching out to me, and they're like, we're feeling all this too. And it's like, it's almost like, I guess what we're trying to do here is it's like, there's no right answer, and everyone's feeling whatever we're feeling, and it's not taboo, and we can talk about it. So why don't I get out of your way, show is yours. I'm just going to adapt to you and give us an outline of what you're doing school-wise and how you're managing all this, because it's tough, dude.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of funny. I overheard a conversation this morning, actually. I'm that dude who will listen to conversations in random places. I was at the Y this morning, just getting a little pump and a little sweat, and I heard 2 parents talking. They were having a long discussion about what they were going to do, and that wasn't the first conversation I heard. I've heard a lot of conversations about what's going to happen. There's an uncertainty of people's futures. I mean. I don't know if it was the BBC or something like that, but they're talking about how everything in COVID has been geared towards people's jobs, businesses, and everybody forgot about the kids. It's like, oh wait, they got to go back to school. They have to be educated. And so many things have been falling. We've been thinking about, okay, how are we going to get toilet paper? You know what I'm saying? Like stupid stuff like that. But man, I'm telling you what to do with kids for a whole year, we just did 3 months or 4 months or whatever. And we kind of got through it because it was like the end of the year. It's a sweet spot. All the testing's done. All the curriculum has been handled just about, and the teachers could kind of cruise, right? So now you have teachers, I mean, for what we're hearing is there's a lot of people that are like, okay, do I go back to school? As a teacher, do I put myself, because you're gonna run the risk of being around people. And then you also say, I don't know, I heard it floated around, we're gonna go to school twice a week. You know what I'm saying? So how's that gonna impact, you were talking about, I guess, people paying for stipend or getting the stipends or getting money back from the government, or, I mean, I think they were teachers, and I think they were just basically talking about are they going to get paid and and what they're going to do. Anyways, all that's up in the air, and I cannot imagine. I think like everything with business, we've fallen into some nice sweet spots, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent that's not going to homeschool, I mean, this is a really...
I feel like a loyalty to the Regent School, Charlottesville. They had Samara there for 6 years, and the leadership there is, I wish they were running the country. They took 2 days off after the quarantine announcement to get themselves
This
together.
is the Regent School? Okay.
And then they picked up with live stream like nothing had happened. And it was like this seamless 2 days. They missed 2 days of school. And they did such a spectacular job. We are making our life a lot more complicated by not going with them, honestly. So I just want to give a shout out to, they're like family. I've been kind of going through a little bit of a mourning process.
Well, let me ask you this. Why not go back to the Regent School if they were so awesome with this? Why? I mean, because what you're doing is so hard. I mean, you're going to be teaching other kids.
No, I'm just going to give you like the most honest answer, because we really feel like we're literally supposed to do it. Like, we just prayed, and the truth, do I tell the truth?
Yes.
Right? Okay. We had like all these friends over. It was, we had like an outdoor, just little barbecue with 2 different couples, and they were all homeschooled, and they were just kind of loving on our kids, and Anwar plays music, and so we had like worship and prayer after, and I had gotten the kids into bed, and I just really felt like I heard, I want you to homeschool Samaria while I was praying. Like I really felt like the Lord told me to do that. And so I was like, guys, I think I ate something wrong. Like, I love Regents. I'm like, why would I do that to myself? That sounds like a torture treatment. I have no interest in homeschooling at all, but I really feel like I'm supposed to do this. And that night, Anwar was like, I really do think that you ate something. Like, there's no way. And the next day, we got up and just kind of had our family prayer time, which we start our days with. And I was like, I really want you to pray about that, because I really sense that that's the direction we're supposed to go into. And he did, and he like 2 minutes later was like, I heard the exact same thing.
That's awesome.
And so we just had unity in prayer, and he like brought the leadership like flowers, and it was kind of this tearful, like, we plan to be back.
Oh, you're talking about on the breakup conversation. You brought the flowers to the breakup conversation with the school. So that was tough.
Yeah, we love that school so much. Courtney and Palumbo is family. So this is not like we were actually so happy with our school situation. This is actually we're not like in the group that's really unhappy with the school, and so they're doing this better thing. We were actually super happy with it, but we just felt like we were supposed to step into this. And then I happened to go on the internet, and there was a classical conversations interest group like the following morning at 10 a.m. I went on at like 10 p.m. at Penn Park, and we got there, and we met the leadership there, and the woman was like, I was like, this is kind of about what I pay for private school. Like, by the time you add up your books and this is not super cheap, And I'm like, how do people fund this if they can't? And she's like, well, they're directors. They take on a class and they direct that class for other parents. And she's telling me about it, and I'm starting to be like, oh my gosh, it's the last thing I'm interested in doing. And I'm like, but who would be really good at
your husband? Yeah.
And he was with the kids at the park, and I'm like, meet my husband. And he gets all excited about it, and they literally said, we actually prayed for a black dad.
Stop. That's amazing.
Because we really want, like, just more representation, minority representation, and this is literally like an answered prayer. So it seemed like a very like
genuine.
The lady who's above me, who helps direct, she adopted 2 black kids herself. Cool. And so she understands sort of this dynamic of having some diversity and having she's from New York, or somewhat North.
Anwar, you guys solved the fatal flaw with the pods. The fatal flaw with the pods is the lack of diversity. It's like all the kids from like the same neighborhood that all look the same, right? So you guys and the pods that you're creating. How about the backstory on that? I mean, coming together through a Baptist church that you guys don't even go to. I thought it was amazing. There's a higher power here.
Yeah, there is. That's right.
I'll tell you the coolest thing that I've saw, and I've saw this a long time. So when I jumped on when she signed me up essentially, which happened,
of course.
Like, yeah, my dad can do.
He can help.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Good. And you're sitting out there, you're a crossing guard now, and so, I've been reading some books about just like this time period that we're in. This is before COVID, where I was starting to understand that people were getting tired of the same old, right? People were getting tired of the same politicians. People were getting tired of the same way that businesses were run, essentially. Like, even if you were an entrepreneur, there was a certain way you had to do it. And if you didn't do it that way, you were not going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? You had to fit the mold. Everything was sort of cookie cutter, and everybody was following each other. And so education was the same way. It was sort of like, if you don't do it this way, if you don't do a covenant or a stab, you're not going to stand out in the application. If you don't go to school, you're not going to be anything in yourself. And it's actually like, no, actually, you don't have to go to college. Like, what I'm doing now has nothing to do. I didn't go to comm school.
Same with me. Same with me. Dude, I learned nothing at UVA that is applying to what I'm doing now. Literally.
You learn how to survive.
Yeah, I learned how to survive. Yeah.
Did you meet your wife?
What's that? No, I met my wife on an airplane. Yeah, I wooed her in the sky on a tent. Judah was there for that meeting too. Your daughter is adorable. So, Anwar, can I throw this question to you?
Her name's Scott.
Have you guys thought about doing this? Okay, this is entrepreneurs to entrepreneurs here. Have you thought about doing this as a business?
Well, I mean, every student that signs up for the class he directs, we get a cut for that.
As you should. As you should.
But it's sort of an unexpected stream of income, actually.
Yeah, I didn't go into it for that. I just thought, okay, check. I get to hang out with my daughter, and it does allow me to have her schooling paid for, because you have to pay for the materials, you have to pay for somebody to show up and direct. And then there's little fees here and there for them to facilitate all the processing of getting the whole curriculum together. So there's a little bit of money involved.
Dude, I would pay, if my son was of age, I would drop ducats on this, and parents would. I mean, your time is valuable. I mean, you're a smart dude, and you're like, I mean, it's amazing what you're doing. I see this as Allen's elementary school right here.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Well, he really, honestly, I think he really actually is very excited and feels purpose with this little, like, it's all lining up, but he actually is like, I really want to, like, speak into these young lives. I want to encourage them, and, so it's solving, do you know Zach Buckner?
No, I do not.
Relay food.
Oh, yes, I do know Zach, yeah.
He's been our friend forever, like, since we got married, and he says, don't ever make a major decision that doesn't solve more than one problem. Like, have it solve at least two problems. Dang. And this actually solves so many different problems.
Your dad, the dad is with the kids. The dad is helping other kids. This is a great idea, Anwar. I mean, you guys, this is brilliant.
Well, we kind of fell into it again. We can't take credit for it. We just we feel like we take chances. We're adventurous people, and we take calculated chances. You know what I'm saying? So with this, I had the sense that education had to change as well, and I was just on for anything that was going to be a different cog in the wheel. Like, I think everything has been so formulaic, especially with education. And so, like we talked about last week, I think it was, or this week, sorry. It kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Education is a business, but the business model has been flawed because everything has been geared toward, okay, the government wants you to be a certain type of person. And we want you to fit into the mold so you can be a good worker. So you can be, but a lot of the times education systems, and we have good schools in Charlottesville, so I just can't imagine what it's like in other places, but they're just spitting out people that would make the same decision over and over again in such a manner that they're just good workers and they're not good thinkers. So then when it comes to making, like you're talking about real estate, being an entrepreneur, like for some people, when they're hearing what you're saying, they're like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I could run my own school and make a little money.
Yeah.
For some people, they're like, this is crazy. And like, I just want to go, I just want to work a 9 to 5. I want to, and nothing wrong with it. But right now, again, happen chance, I feel just as blessed as somebody who does have still has a job, because I know that I don't have complete control, because I believe in a higher power, right? But I believe that if I work hard and I show up to the places I feel I'm called to, that He'll make a way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not beholden to somebody else's stroke of the pen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who is it? No, you're good. But I was going to say, who was it? So many companies have been dropping employees left and right. Just imagine the teachers that are out there not knowing what they're going to do now, or you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna come up into I Love CVille, flip the switch on. You have the power to flip the switch, and you can line up your schedule, and you have the power to do what you got to do to at least provide a way to make that income.
What were you going to say, Laura?
I feel like we're just kind of jumping in the boat and grabbing an oar, because there's all these homes. Do you want to take her? Cause she's babbling.
Sure. This is horrible.
We're just grabbing an oar, because there's these homes. I mean, this community of this homeschool community, the Classical Conversations, it's been in existence for as long as I've been a parent, and probably before that. So we're just joining a co-op where people have laid a foundation for many, many years. And so it's not like, like we need to suddenly be biochemists and understand all this stuff in the next 7 days. It's more like we're flanked by
You have the systems in place. The systems are in place, and you just have to roll out the systems.
Really minds who've tested the systems and who are coming alongside us and supporting us to support them. Like we're just jumping in the boat and we're not creating
and it's brilliant, because you guys are not teachers, you're entrepreneurs. So of course you're going to roll out a system that's already proven, as opposed to creating one from scratch. It's brilliant. And on top of that, what I really love about this is you're looking at education as if you're an entrepreneur, and you're not looking at education as if it was systematic bureaucracies that are just have not changed year over year. You are a social educational entrepreneur. You guys are social educational entrepreneurs. You guys, it's conscious capitalism, but it's conscious capitalism in the educational space.
Yeah, that's right. I just think
you're blowing my mind.
No, you're blowing my mind. I'm just putting it into words. You are blowing my mind. It's social educational, social entrepreneur, but with educational focus. I freaking love you guys. Excuse my language. I'm sorry about that.
It's actually a dream come true in many ways. Like Henry Hudson granola?
No.
Well, it's a local granola brand, and I think they have a global footprint. They've killed it you can get it everywhere you can get Shortbread.
They're in Whole Foods. They're in all the Whole Foods.
They're everywhere we are, pretty much, and beyond. Okay. And they were just like, a decade in front of us in terms of figuring out distribution, and they've just, I don't know them personally. Anwar's at a few expos, but I always thought, I read about her once, and she homeschooled her kids and has a small business and lives on a farm. And it was always kind of in my dreamscape as like a really lovely lifestyle, although seemingly unattainable. I feel like 2020 forced us into a lot of ideals that used to seem unattainable. Like 5 straight months of family dinner every night at 6 o'clock. Last night when we were sitting around the table, I was like, this doesn't even feel weird anymore. Like, we've become a little organism. This is like what we do now. It's not like...
I love you guys. I seriously, okay, this is what I got to do. I got to go to Pattie Zeller. Can we keep doing this on the show?
Yeah, without the kid, we're going to figure out...
I thought the kid was great. It's real.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. Sky's like, yeah, what are you talking about? I would love to. I would love to. I had a crazy thought. I was like, man, this is actually kind of fun. I love hanging out with you, and I know. By the way, it feels like I'm hanging out with you and Judah in there right now, having conversation. And you guys are really. I have to say kudos to you guys because you guys are doing something. Because looking at your branding. And I tell you the truth, man, I seen you when you were starting up. What was it? Always, I can't remember. It was on the downtown mall, and you had done like a little a food video for that. I can't remember the name of it, but all I know is they got a couch in there. It's got a cow skin couch. You know what I'm talking about?
Cow skin couch.
On the downtown mall, and they
was it Tempo? Oh, they're out of business. It was Tempo.
Yeah,
it was Tempo. Yeah.
And I remember you doing a little video thing for them, and I was sort of doing little stuff like that too. And I said, "This Jerry guy, he's pretty smart." I was watching when you first started because I was like, he's gonna kill it because nobody's gonna be able to keep like you were putting your feet to the pavement. Every week you were doing a new video. You know what I'm saying? And I see you were building, and then I see you with shirts everywhere. And I see you, and I was like, this guy's everywhere. I was like, this guy's gonna kill it. And this is coming full circle, Jerry, because I feel like every cultural system is going to have a changeover or a makeover, really. If you can imagine them to be all mountains, essentially, they're held right now, or people are standing on them with good values, but they're old school values. This is a renaissance, man. And you are in the news and media, like entertainment. You're on that.
Come on now.
And you're on a mountain right now, and you are doing something that is different. It's new, it's hip, it's fresh. And I strongly believe that this is the way that news is going to have to be done or interacting with, because people are not they want something that doesn't have the face of bureaucracy. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I love me some NBC.
You just can't trust anybody.
You want something that's real. You know what it comes down to? This is what it comes down to is like Oprah Winfrey said this. Oprah Winfrey said that everybody wants to be seen, heard, and understood. And right now, the current news is just like schools and finance. It's unfortunately, it has a foundation of systematic BS that needs to change. Right. And doing it in this kind of forum, just like what you guys are doing with education, just like how you're bringing the product you're selling direct to the consumer with e-commerce, this is the future. I truly believe this. I got to do this. I got to go. I'm going to reach out to you guys again. Laura, you're amazing. You're a natural, Laura. I'm serious. I'm serious. Hey, Anwar, you outkicked your coverage with Laura. I mean, she is nice right there, okay?
Good, man. Hey, man, when I met her, I said to my friend...
I remember how you met. Okay, let me see if I get this right. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. You're at UVA. Yep. Was it African American Studies class? And she was the only white person in the class, and she was speaking up to the professor, being the loudest person, and you were there. Well, who is this lady right here? Who's this lady?
Who's this white girl?
Yeah, who's this white girl? Right.
From the suburbs, but all the white people I knew were like really nice, and she was like out there, but like white people need to get it together and da da da. I was like, oh, who is that? I was like, what's up with her? She went through a stage where I was like, honey, white people are nice. I was like, you gotta love white people.
I took a few too many African American studies classes. I got a little weird there for a while.
I was like, we're all united together, baby. Like, come on.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. All right, I have to go to Pattie. I have to go. You guys are awesome. I will be in touch. Laura, thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. Oh my gosh, I thoroughly enjoyed that interview. Give the show a like and a share if you love the Allens. And Judah, let's get the Allens URL to their website on screen. Buy their shortbread. It is amazing shortbread. Give the Allens a like and a share now. And if you have any positive comments for the Allens, put it in the comment section and I will relay it on air. I'm going to see if I can get to you, Pattie. Pattie, are you watching? I'm Skyping you now. Pattie, we went log on that interview because it was amazing. Judah, have the Animal Connection video ready to go that we can play over this. Pattie, we do have Pattie. She's on the line, JW. Pattie, do we have you? We get that we got the camera turned on. Pattie's here. You're looking marvelous. How are you? I'm doing well. What's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm just walking around the store looking at things we're putting on sale. We're getting ready to start packing. I took the first items over today. How about that?
I love it. All right, let's get the who, what, when, where, why. So Animal Connection is expanding because they've had so much success. They're moving from McIntyre Plaza to Ix Park, right next to the bike shop and Brazos Tacos. Pattie, give us some more details, baby.
It is happening. We've got 1,000 more square feet, and boy, are we going to fill it up with great new products, a lot more brands, dog training, a bigger self-serve dog wash area, a bigger grooming area, outdoor socials. I mean, it is going to be so freaking exciting.
Pattie, you have an outdoor bar and an outdoor fire pit.
I know. How about that? I mean, I've always wanted my own bar. Now I can have a dog store and a bar.
It's also, guys, the home of Dogfest, Pattie.
It is. We are doing Dogfest a little bit differently this year. We're going to do it as 4 small, I wouldn't say small, but 4 open houses with a different focus on every night. And so, we'll be able to involve the pet community, like the pet services and the rescue groups and groomers and friends and all kinds of fun things. So you're going to know what's happening in Charlottesville. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
It'll just be a little differently. And we will have the Big Dog Blonde Ale made by 3 Knots Brewery. That's going to be so good. You're going to love it.
I love it.
It's going to be canned. You can take it home.
I love it. This fabulous businesswoman and entrepreneur has created a festival called Dogfest that had over 5,000 people at it at Ix Art Park. She has also created a beer with 3 Knots called the Big Dog Blonde Ale. The beer is being canned and it has her photo on it. It's just amazing. So we're putting video on screen of you and I at your new location. Nice. What was it like to be a general contractor, Pattie Zeller?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've done this before with many, many old houses that we
So, grand opening, what are we thinking?
Open. Why wait?
That's amazing. The new and improved Animal Connection. All right, get us out of here on what we can expect at your new location, Pattie.
Say that again. The dog was barking.
Get us out of here on what we can expect at the new location.
Oh my gosh. Well, just more of everything that you've loved at Animal Connection for almost 20 years. I mean, lots more brands, lots more accessories, an enlarged bakery and treat bar. We're going to be baking birthday cakes for your dogs. I mean, it's going to be great.
I love it. Pattie, good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Nice to see you. Thanks, Jerry.
All right, you have a good one.
Guys.
Pattie Zeller, guys, Animal Connection expanding. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Woo! Let's get to some comments, Judah. Before we get to comments, we got 136. What a phenomenal program. We got some more headlines to get to here, Judah Wickhauer. Judah Wickhauer is our fabulous director. Pattie, I cannot wait to see the new Animal Connection at Ix Park. It's going to be amazing. Late August opening. We'll follow it here on the I Love CVille Show. We have to get to some football news. So the UVA and Virginia Tech football schedules were released. In fact, the ACC football schedule released as well. Notre Dame and Duke opened the ACC football schedule for 2020. Couple of things from a UVA and Virginia Tech standpoint. The Hokies and the Wahoos will play in September. Okay, so this game not happening over Thanksgiving. It will mark the first time the Commonwealth Clash has happened outside of Thanksgiving since 2005. So the first time since 2005, we have not had Virginia and Virginia Tech play over Thanksgiving weekend. This will mark the first time the in-state teams will meet in the month of September since Frank Beamer's inaugural season when the two teams played in 1987. So COVID is changing up college football as we know it. A couple of things I want to highlight for you. Virginia out of conference, its game is going to be against VMI. UVA's out of conference game will be against VMI. Virginia Tech's out of conference game against Liberty. Both UVA and Virginia Tech have Clemson on their schedule. Clemson, the reigning national champion. UVA will travel to Death Valley, while Clemson will host the Tigers in Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. I'm very closely going to be watching Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, guys, is playing a conference schedule, 10 games. For the first time in the history of its program, it's tying its schedule to a conference. So Notre Dame, its out-of-conference game is against Western Michigan, I believe, and I'll confirm that right now. So a lot of the teams we're traditionally accustomed to seeing Notre Dame play, Navies, the USCs of the world, are not happening. Its only non-conference game, I'm confirmed now, is Western Michigan. Will Notre Dame, because of COVID-19, will Notre Dame be influenced to join the Atlantic Coast Conference from a football standpoint full-time moving forward? It's already doing it for other sports. Notre Dame, a full-fledged member of basketball and other sports. Will this influence the Fighting Irish leadership to be a member of the ACC full-time COVID-19? Could this be yet another change that happens to a pandemic we've never seen before? That is a topic that we need to follow very, very, very closely. All right, one more, Judah, a macro topic. This from CNBC. We have positivity to close the show with. Jobless claims, basically people saying they don't have a job and they need money from the government. It's at 1.186 million Americans. So just under 1.2 million Americans, new filings for unemployment benefits this week. That is the lowest level of filings in the coronavirus era. Maybe some hope and positivity with that metric, which is worth repeating. Just under 1.2 million Americans, still too many, this week filing for unemployment benefits, the lowest amount in the coronavirus era. Gosh, COVID is now its own era. It's now its own era, so positivity right there. Folks, let's let them know, Judah, how they can save $288 on Ting. In fact, it looks like we have two headlines on there to let them know. ilovecville.ting.com. ilovecville.ting.com for the fastest internet in our area at the lowest price you can find it, only through that link. ilovecville.ting.com. You get 1 month's free and installation free. That's $288 of savings. It is a no-brainer. Your reliance on the internet is going to be stronger, not less. It is a no-brainer. The cheapest you can get this here. Ting, Charlottesville. I loved today's show. I loved it. I love the Allens. I mean, the Allens are legit and good people, conscious capitalists, social, educational entrepreneurs. That is the mindset that we need to help stimulate, revitalize, and improve a public school system across the country that has been systematically, bureaucratically stagnant. That's fair. I'll stand by what I just said there. We have, for so long, just said, this is just what we do, and we have not taken the macro or the E-Myth Mastery. E-Myth Mastery, read that book if you're a small business owner. It's all about working on your business instead of in your business. So long, educators have been working in hallways and in school plans, seeing the forest right up front, and they haven't been working on their business, seeing the forest from a bird's eye view. And COVID is creating a bird's eye view of everything. It really is. It's creating a bird's eye view of everything. And now entrepreneurs, social educational entrepreneurs, are coming into the space and revolutionizing how schools teach children. Location, curriculum, in-person, virtual, class sizes, the space in between the students. I mean, it's just what they wear on their face, how they wash and touch things. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Good show today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jerry Miller. He's Judah Wickower. This is the I Love CVille Show. Today's Thursday. Wow. Tomorrow, we're back in this chair. In fact, tomorrow at 10:15 in the morning, Real Talk, Michael Guthrie is going to be here, CEO of Roy Wheeler Realty Company. Michael Guthrie is a great man. He's going to be here at 10:15 in the morning for Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate life and the pursuit of happiness, and then the I Love CVille Show at 12:30 tomorrow. You guys take care. We got to get that Skype situation set up with Michael and his guests.